I'm Roman, and this is Massive Voodoo TV. Today I want to speak about The Last Light, one of the biggest dioramas I've ever done, with 128 miniatures. I'll tell you a little bit about its story, the inspiration, where I got it from. And in the end, tell you a little bit about the feelings when it comes to selling such a piece and giving it away to another person. Check it out. Usually I never was into games days. I took part in one or two, but never was amazed by grabbing a golden demon or something. I've won a bronze demon, a silver one or something before The Last Light. And then a friend of mine, Raphael Pica, who has won 2 Slayerswords already, told me, Roman, you really have to make this experience going really in depth into a project where you get lost for 3 or 4 months to focus on this. I can tell you from my perspective, always when Raphael did that, it was really, really annoying from the outside because you weren't able to really speak with him and talk with him about normal things in life. He was absolutely focused. But this is something you need to take part in a games day. Focus on your project. The project won me the Slayersword 2013 at Games Day in Cologne back then, Games Day Germany. It was an amazing moment on one hand, but on the other hand I can tell you when I've really felt that I was winning something, it was the moment when I finished this project, when I was working 480 hours plus through 3 to 4 months. And really called it done 3 or 4 days prior to the games day. This was the moment of winning. It was an amazing feeling. So the inspiration came when Rafa told me I should start such a big thing. Do something that you've never done before. Focus on something that you have never focused before. That's what I did. I sat down and had a time schedule for, like, you can say 5 months when I started until Games Day Germany back then in 2013. I went back to some drawings I did earlier. I was always drawing angels and masses of demons or something like that the angels were fighting, and this kind of connected to this project. It was a project done before the one famous book from the Black Library, The Fall of Baal from the Blood Angels. It was done before the big zombie movie called Sea with Brad Pitt. I really wanted to create a scene that I have in my imagination when it comes to Warhammer 40k. This fierce nature, this brutal, grimdark nature, I want to capture this, but also leave a glimpse of hope there. I give you a little insight into the process of building an inspiration. The inspiration, like I told you, came from drawings I've made, from the books I've read, from the Black Library. A lot of interesting things that came to my mind, and I always loved Space Marines. Space Marines are for me the heroes of the future, and showing them in a very fierce situation where the battle is lost and where the anti-heroes of the universe, the Tyranids, the aliens, absorb a full planet, and giving this tiny situation a little spark of hope. I needed a lot of miniatures. That's what the plan was. I made some sketches, some drawings about it, what I want to do. I wanted to have a cyborg and some Marines. But what I needed most was tons of Tyranids. And I found this piece of wood in the forest that I used for the basic groundwork. And I went to eBay first to buy a lot of Tyranid models and then started gluing them there, but I needed more and more and more. So I got myself a sideboard, I got myself some marines, also some marines from the Space Hulk box. I also wanted to have some special units of Tyranid models, got myself a Lictor, a Carnifex, some Tyranid warriors, some small Tyranid bombs, and a lot of these smaller guys. Everything was kind of drawing towards the top with that wooden piece there, and I knew at the top I want to place that angel. A Sanguineous Guard, a very epic one, as the last hope, last light. This was really interesting. If you want to have an in-depth look on the building process, down below you can find a link to the tutorial with 96 pages in my Etsy shop. You will enjoy that. It goes really in-depth, has tons of photos of it. Yeah, that's about the building and inspiration process. Painting such a big piece is a massive task. Many people told me that they cannot understand how I painted this all together. I really wanted to create a painting, a picture, a canvas. It really helped me to see the overview picture I was aiming for all the time. I was putting everything together and painted it at once, except for Space Marines that I wanted to place and the Sanguineous Guard. With this I was also able to keep things in the dark and put the light where I wanted and focus where I wanted. Of course you can find a lot of insight on the painting process too in the Etsy PDF. Enjoy that one. I really wanted to show that fierce fight in many small situations. For example, there's this Terminator up there losing his arm but still in the middle of the fight. There are some Space Marines that are torn apart and pulled down into the masses of aliens, of Xenos. In the back, that's a situation I really enjoy a lot. There's this lonesome Terminator in the middle of the dark masses of the aliens. Some are fighting against the Carnifex and that big monster, while another one still pulls up the battle standard of the Legion. Speaking about that cyborg, I really had to put him in place like he's the king of the scene, even if he will die, but he already died. The cyborg itself is just standing there and crushing enemies. I even think he's the last light, you never know. So there are so many small situations going on, and for me it was important that the models interact with each other with her eyesight, that the view of the eyes, that they connect, that the aliens, for example, have their prey in their sight, while the Space Marines are like looking in some directions where it's important to defend against. The title, The Last Light, was not the working title. The working title for me was always Three Little Birds, as an homage to a Bob Marley song. You know that one? Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Super. Okay. Oh man. There are three little birds inside the diorama, three angels. There's the one on top, the hero. There's one that gets torn apart in the back, and there's one small sanguineous little angel puppy, naked, that lost his head and is already lying on the ground. So Three Little Birds was, for me, was always the fun working title that pushed me through these 3 months of hard work. Were really tough because back then I was in the old studio, was under a roof, and we had summer, and we had like 30 to 40 degrees all the time at this place. So it was really tough to push this through until August. When I finished that piece, I had a lot of clients and collectors asking me if I would sell it. Back then, I did not want to sell it for a low price, so I really asked a lot, and nobody was able or nobody was willing to pay for it. I was even asking Games Workshop. I asked Games Workshop several times to maybe have it in the Warhammer World Museum, but never got a response on it. So after several years, I was lowering the price and still had no one willing to buy it. On the other hand, some people told me they would buy it for a cheaper price, but I personally told myself for 450 hours of work and the emotions and energies and dynamics I put in this and the uniqueness of the piece, I don't want to sell it for less. So I kept it for myself for almost from 2013 until 2020, when a collector from Sweden wrote me that he wants to make it his, and we agreed on a price. He told me he will pick it up after the Corona crisis, and he will travel down with his car from Sweden to pick it up personally. I knew it was sold now, and selling that piece is really interesting also for myself, because there are a lot of emotions included in that piece that I want to explain to you. When the day came closer that the collector will pick it up, it was interesting for me how my emotions went wild. I didn't think of this because I saw the last light standing in my cabinet for quite a long time. So I was able to dust it off to prepare it for the collector. There's a video about it on this channel. That was the start when I felt like, it's soon time to say goodbye. I really felt weird. Here's a small video when I was on the way to the studio. I filmed it on my bike just to give you a real impression of the emotions. Today is the day. I'm handing over the last light to its new owner. I got mixed feelings. I'm happy, proud, and a little sad. Sad in terms of saying goodbye to the physical presence around me. It's confusing because I've seen it for almost 10 years now. I'm really happy and thankful for the support from the collector. I wish him a lot of joy with the physical piece. For me, it's saying goodbye to a lot of things, because the diorama is connected a lot to my own story, life, and feelings, emotions. I was sad on one hand, I was also happy on the other hand. Happy that I get to know the person in real life. I got to know him a little bit more. I got to know why he collected this. It's his first miniature he collects, and he's quite the collector of art and also likes miniatures. And he explained to me that his wife told him, why don't you collect miniature art? And this was the first piece he found. So I felt very honored to have this, to see this piece in his collection. I was really happy to say goodbye to it and waving it goodbye. I really went down to the car and waved the client and the diorama goodbye. But it felt good. It felt good because there was also part of my past in it, a part of my heart in it. And it was good to say goodbye to these things, to look into the future. Also good to have a new space or new free space in the studio's cabinet to just bring up the next big project I have in my mind since several years. Look out for that. Thank you for watching the video till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. It's one of my biggest projects, one of the things dearest to my heart. Please enjoy the 360-degree view that I show you right now. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support, and Roman out. Bye bye. Keep on happy painting.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up!